Hello, everyone. Welcome to Bookmarked Chapter 8. Today we are going to be talking about fantasy. I am Hailey from Hailey and Bookland. You're on my channel. Hello, everyone. We don't have Hannah here today. She had a family obligation. She's doing all right, I promise. She just had a family obligation that she had forgotten about. So we are joined by a special guest today.
Oh, and I guess that's me. Hi, guys. My name is Sasha Clockwork, and I'm a part of the channel abookutopia. And right here next to me is Fiona, my dog, who just got out of surgery, so she's going to be staring into nothingness for the whole entire video.
Our real special guest.
Oh, yeah.
Fiona. Hello, I am Zoe from the channel ReadbyZoe, and I'm also part of Bookmarked. I'm not special. I'm just here.
Beautiful. So before we get to talking about all things fantasy books, this is going to be a really conversational episode of Bookmarked. So if you have any questions, then you can tweet them at us with the hashtag Bookmarked, and we will try and answer them. Or you can have them in the chat, and we will try and chat with you guys and stuff if you want recommendations, all that stuff. But we're going to talk about what we're reading right now. So I am currently reading Forest of a Thousand Lanterns by Julie C. Dow, which I'm reading for the Fall into Fantasy Readathon. That is hosted by Penguin Teen. So this is really an apropos time to be doing this chapter. And then I'm also listening to the audiobook for Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. Finally, I am reading this and everyone can stop asking.
Oh, who's next? Am I next?
You're next.
Whoever.
Okay, cool. So, first of all, I have not read that book either, Children of Blood and Bone, but I have the audiobook and I do need to read it really badly. So I'm going to eventually. Hannah has been pestering me about it since, she read it, so I'm like, okay, I gotta get to it. But so I'm currently reading a book that does not have a cover or a physical copy yet, but it's The Chosen by Tara Matheru. It's amazing, really cool. Go add it on Goodreads. It's up there with the blurb. But I am physically reading two other books right now. It depends on what my mood is. I read a lot of books at once. I'm a heathen. But the first one is Tana French's In the Woods. It's a murder mystery novel about a 12-year-old girl, I believe, is found murdered in the woods, and pretty much about this detective who was found in the woods that she was found in when he was younger. And he was like a part of like this cold case. It was really weird. It's really cool. It's a great murder mystery, and I was so bad at explaining that. And I'm also reading by Edith Pitot, which is a book that I guess everybody's read except me. So it's like a OG fantasy book. So
I've never heard of it. But
Wait,
wow,
just re-released.
I've never heard of it. I'm not reading any fantasy because I'm Zoe. Hello. But I am also reading very different books depending on women. I'm still reading You by Caroline Kepnes. I just watched the first episode.
I love the show.
Of the Lifetime. It's a really good adaptation, and it's by Lifetime, and that's why I was very confused.
Lifetime's so good. I love the show Unreal that's produced by Lifetime. It's amazing. I may get a tattoo dedicated to that show. I love it so much. But it's inappropriate, so I cannot say it. But pretty much, I love Lifetime adaptations. Like, it's the best. Sorry, okay.
I've heard of Lifetime movies, and I've thought of them. I don't think I've ever watched a Lifetime movie, but I equated them to Hallmark movies, like that type of cheesy, but it's really good. But I'm also reading China Rich Girlfriend by Kevin Kwan, which is a sequel to Crazy Rich Asians. So if I need something happy, I switch to this because this is not happy at all.
No, it's really messed up.
But the show is really good, and it's really good.
Show's so good. I'm addicted to that.
Mm-hmm. And in the show, what's his face from Gossip Girl is in it.
Yeah, I haven't watched it, but I know that he's like a beloved.
Dan Humphrey, and the narrator of the audiobook is what's his face from Crazy Rich Girlfriend. What was his name? He was also the voice of somebody in Frozen. Hans, the bad guy. Oh, I'm sorry, the spoiler if you haven't seen Frozen, but but like both of them, they're very like attractive men, so it makes me feel weird things about a stalker.
No, it makes you actually sympathize with the aggressive.
I know, I do not like feeling this.
I do not like, it makes me like feel so gross, but at the same time I'm like, but I can't help my emotions. And that's what good filmmaking and good TV show making and book writing does.
Mm-hmm. Like, oh yes, Penn Badgley from Gossip Girl and Santino Fontana, his voice. It's so okay. Moving on to the point of our live show.
Fantasy. All right. Well, I did have a question here. Let me see if I can find it. So this question is from Books and Coffee on Twitter, and they asked if you could live in a fantasy world, which one would you choose? Which I feel like everyone's gonna say Hogwarts.
We're not choosing the Wizarding World. Anything but that, because that is so obvious.
It is. I always say that, like, I feel like I wouldn't want to live in a fantasy world because most of them, like, seem so exciting and seem so nice, but they're all horrible. Like, everyone's like, would you want? Yeah.
Like I'd want to live with the elves, or with the hobbits, but nowhere else.
Yeah. Like, everyone's always like, would you want to live in Wonderland? And absolutely not. Wonderland is horrible.
No.
Honestly, like, I think that the thing is, like, I would like to live in multiple fantasy worlds if the main conflict in the novel that it's, like, based in happened either a long time ago or was going to happen in the very distant future. So everything would be fine, everybody would be happy, and there would be, like, fairies all around. And honestly, I don't actually know what I would pick because, like, all my favorite books take place in, like, either, like, the past of our world or, like, the present. So I'm trying to think. I'm like, because I can't choose Outlander, which is my go-to answer for everything. So,
it's not. I have, like, you could maybe count it as fantasy, but no.
The present, pretty much, but with the past, like, interspersed. Oh, that's so hard. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just world, like, way after everything goes down, but, like, I can't even say that because I still have not finished her books. So I'm like,
Didn't the last one just come out?
Yeah,
Kingdom of Ash. I watched a lot of people's reading vlogs for that, but I stopped reading Sarah J. Maas years ago, but I was, like, very interested in hearing what people say about it. So I don't know what that says about me.
Vicariously through them.
Yeah. I watched all of Ashley Outpaged, all of her, like, getting the book, and then her entire review, which was, like, 45 minutes long. Watched the entire thing. I have no idea what the people she was talking about were. Like, I had no idea, but I was like, oh yeah, you really like this. I'm happy that you like this.
It's not even like you want to, like, read the book after you watch those. You're just, like, enjoying watching the person enjoy it.
Yeah, exactly.
So I love it. I mean, I can get that. It's like why I watch tasty videos late at night when I cannot eat the food. I just enjoy it.
That's more like torture. I feel like that's more like torture.
So bad.
I do that all the time when I'm hungry. I just watch tasty videos. I'm like, my snack.
I know, it's like, oh, I want to have a snack, but I can't because I can't eat past 6. So it's like, I hate life, but it's fine. Everything's okay.
Maybe living in the world of the diviners.
I mean, no.
I mean, no, okay. But, like, if you're not
I don't want no demons.
But, like,
my God.
be interesting.
No. I don't need life to be interesting. I'm just trying to get by. Oh my goodness.
That's the most iconic thing you've ever said.
Wow. No, thank you.
But, like, 1920s New York, I mean, just a slight case of death, it's fine.
I would like to take place, like, honestly, I think the thing is, like, I would love to live in the past, but I actually would hate it too, because, like, there's no medicine. Like, literally the world was so gross back then. Like, people had yellow teeth all the time, not just in certain areas of the world. Like, everybody had gross teeth. Everybody had disease, and, like, nothing was good besides, like, war, and people loved war back then, but I don't love war. So I think that, like, I love, like, learning about it and I love reading about it, but I love being able to pull myself away from it. That's why I'm, like, very content with the present. I would like to see what the future holds, though, just a little bit. But, like, I actually am scared about it, but I hope that one day I can.
That's why you write sci-fi.
Yeah.
Well, I'm done with sci-fi after Nexus, and now with Red, I'm writing urban fantasy.
Oh.
Yes, I want to write all the genres, and then I'm working, like, contemporary after that. Like, I'm all over the place. I love, like putting my work in every single genre.
Amazing. There's another question here. This one's from Alexandria24 on Twitter, and she asks, what are some fantasy tropes you love and some that you hate? So I feel like one that I hate is, like, across things, and that's just the love triangle. I can't do it.
But the internal devices.
True.
That's, like, the only well-done one I've seen.
Yeah.
I think that, like, one of my favorite tropes in fantasy is, like, the chosen one, and I know how much of a trope it is, but I am trash for that trope, and I will go down with that ship.
I agree.
No, I want to see someone who is not the chosen one. Someone who, like, I really want to see someone who has, like, mental illness or something, or especially, like, has, like, really bad anxiety, because, like, same, but being thrust into being like the chosen one. 'Cause I feel like with the chosen one, they're always such strong characters already, and it's like that's not very interesting. They probably would come forth and volunteer themselves anyway. But if there was someone who was totally not equipped, I would love that. But I feel like it's so boring at this point. Oh, really?
The main character, it's not like a high fantasy, but it has like fantastical elements to it. Not a ton, but I really liked it. And she has anxiety and she's kind of thrust into things.
I think that, honestly, my favorite part of The Chosen One is actually not the characters that start off strong. I actually love seeing the character development.
Yeah.
I love The Chosen One. I love seeing the character grow throughout a series and seeing them become the person they were meant to be and save the world that they never thought they would ever have to save. And I kind of like the progression and I like the character development. I don't really like when somebody's like a special snowflake. And I think that's like the difference between the two. It's like the Chosen One who is always supposed to be a really special snowflakey, and then there's a Chosen One that has to grow into that role in order to achieve a destiny. And I'm so trash for it.
Yeah, I agree. I think that was it for that question.
Or was it what's one that you hate? What's one that I hate besides?
Oh,
I mean, I think Chosen One. Honestly, I just want to see more variations of it. I think that's the biggest part. Like, I don't hate tropes. I hate tropes that like no one has tried it from a different
like a carbon copy. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
I don't know if I hate any. I don't want to say that I hate any tropes, just because like if an author does it well, I can really mesh with that. Because the thing is, I don't like saying I hate something in literature, because like everybody can do it different. And like somebody can help change your mind. So like maybe like one day, Zoe, you'll come across a book that's like The Chosen One, but it's done in the way that you want to see it done.
Exactly.
So that'll make you like it. So I feel like there's always room to finagle around. Even though you dislike it now, you can always like it in the future. Like I used to hate multiple point of views, and I used to not like reading from a guy's point of view. And then when I started reading that, and I ended up writing my book with like lots of male points of views and multiple points of views. And like, so it's amazing how your reading tastes can change just because like of one book that kind of pushed you into it.
Mm-hmm. It all depends on the book, exactly. But I think also like vampire books are coming back.
Yeah, I'm
so excited because I think because it's not going to be the same thing again, because there's more diverse authors, people from different point of views are getting the opportunity to like
finally get in there.
Their own. Yeah. So
it's
I think
so good.
I don't like hating tropes. I've changed my opinion completely.
Well, like, guys, I don't know, like, I have, like, some insight into a world that I never knew about until, like, somebody introduced it to me. So there's a whole entire world of, like, Kindle Unlimited writing, and there's authors on there that literally pump out lots of material for, like, for example, vampire books. And a lot of them are also diverse. Some of them, like, you know, still need to get there. But, like, there's this whole entire world online that people don't really know about because it's, like, self-published, and self-publishing has this weird stigma around it, even though, like,
it does.
And it's such an amazing world, because pretty much there are so many avid consumers who just want to read this stuff, and they don't have to wait a year or two to get the physical copy, because it's pretty much being pumped out like almost every month. I mean, the quality does go down when it's like that, but at the end of the day, like, some people just like to read just to read and don't care about the quality. But it's so fascinating, and I really want and like Zoe said, I really want more diverse books and genres that we kind of have thrown away, like dystopian, vampires. I would love to see a gothic vampire story, like LGBTQ+. I would love like something to like really be pushing the spotlight like that, or like something like just
it'll come.
It'll come
now.
I know. Hello, please, somebody send it to me.
Awkward Book Nook commented, "What, vampires are back, or did they ever really leave? Because they're undead." Oh,
that was.
I love you so much. Oh my gosh, everyone's here. Hello.
It was excellent. We got any other?
I think the new vampire books are going to come out. I don't think a lot of them have come out yet. I just know a lot of them have been announced.
There's an anthology, I think, that's coming out.
Oh, I'm ready for ghosts to come back, guys. Like, my favorite. I have like such a ghost fetish. Like, guys, if you want to
okay.
I love ghosts. I also have a clown fetish, but we're not going to talk about that.
No.
Have you Pennywise? Like, I love Pennywise. Like, literally, like, would marry him.
I'm so true.
We're not going to discuss that right now. But have you seen on Netflix? There's this movie that's called Spirit of Christmas or whatever. And
that's my favorite movie.
Have you seen
Girl.
it?
Oh my God,
I haven't seen it. I saw the commercial for it.
Girl, watch it. Please do yourself a favor. I literally vouch for this movie every single year, all year round. It's my favorite movie. Probably it's in my top 5 favorite movies. I love Hallmark style Christmas movies, and this one just. The guy's attractive. The girl's so gorgeous.
Wait, he's a ghost. And he's like, I haven't celebrated Christmas for like 107 years. I'm like,
the Scrooge ghost too. Oh, it's so good, girl. Please watch it. I'll watch it with you. We can watch it at the same time if you want. I'm like really into this. If you can't tell, like I would write that.
I thought I was gonna blow your mind, but no, you're like, oh, you've seen it 70.
I know. I love it. I literally just watched it last week.
Oh
wow.
my God.
I've been watching a lot of Christmas movies lately. The Vanessa Hudgens one,
I have not
actually
seen that one
pretty
yet.
entertaining. Not great, but it was entertaining.
I hear it's like super insta love, which like I'm so down for. With,
Yes, movies. Doubly insta love. There are 2 romances. Vanessa Hudgens falls in love twice, so like, welcome. Okay.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it.
Oh, I have so many questions.
Read with Cindy asked, "What about a clown ghost?"
No.
Oh my God, like I literally, guys, like I'm not even joking. Like
a ghost clown?
Guys, Pennywise, played by Bill Skarsgård, is literally my fetish. Like I'm so down. Like, I'm really messed up.
Can we move on from this topic?
I have so many questions.
If you guys want a podcast of me to talk about this or like a live show, I will literally go into depth about
This is a family channel, Sasha.
No, it's not. I want to
know. People like freaked out about me, like if they knew like how many like weird facets like I'm into, like they'll be like, "Wait, how do you know about all this stuff?" And I'm be like, "I've been on the weird side of YouTube way too often."
Oh, I'm so intrigued.
I'll tell you.
I have a question on Twitter. Moving on. A question from Twitter from Bemused Bookworm, who asks, "Are there any fantasy books that you love so much that you're unsure whether you want more people to know about them or whether you want to keep them a secret to strengthen the special bond you have with them?" Not just fantasy books. Like, I'm like this with many books that I read because I'm selfish. I mean, sometimes there are ones that I immediately after I finish reading them, I'll go up to my dad and I'll be like, "Read this right now so we can talk about it." Yeah. But there are several. I feel like even ones that I heard about from other people, like the Raven Cycle, I'm very like weirdly possessive of it. And it's not mine. I heard about it from other people. I wasn't the first person to read it, but now I'm just like, no, they can't make an adaptation. They have to keep it pure. Like,
see, like, I have a toss-up about that because, like, I used to think that way, too. And then I learned, like, about the back channels of, like, about authors and their careers and how, like, literally, shouting from the rooftops about a series really helps their career and helps them publish more books. But at the same time, yeah, it does get cluttered, the fandom, at the same time. Like, for example, Stalking That Jack the Ripper, I adored that book straight out of the gate. I know that it has some more hype around it, but, like, literally, I felt like nobody was talking about it. And then once I talked, like, everybody, like, not saying, like, I made everybody read it. Not at all. I feel like
did.
I like literally was trash for that book, and then all of a sudden everybody else read it, and then like once I saw once like a hate review about it, and I'm like, "Don't hurt my baby, okay?" Rose and Thomas are my baes. I named a character Thomas in one of my books because like I was like gotta do an ode to him, even though he's a minor character. Love Thomas Cresswell.
Yes.
Sorry, I could talk about this book, but yeah, no, I do feel that. So yeah, it's just like it's like a toss up between like wanting to support the author or just keep the book to myself.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever wanted like to just keep a book to myself. I feel like I've always been.
Wow,
that's false. But...
oh, okay. Many sides of people are coming out today.
I know. I'm not looking for it. Do you guys want to see something really cute right now? Sorry, look at Fiona right now. She's sleeping on her hand.
Baby.
That. Oh, look at the baby.
I'm gonna keep her to myself. I'm stealing her away.
Honestly,
you want to take her? Like, you know, it's fine. You'll be like take her back like after a day.
He's so cute.
Oh my gosh, my dad just commented on the live chat. Say hello, everybody.
Hello.
But yeah, no, just recently I read an absolutely remarkable thing. And right after that, I went up to my dad. I'm like, "You have to read it." And now he's reading it. Wow.
Oh.
There we go.
Wait, I love how much your dad reads. Like, that's like one of my favorite things. Like, so I watched your reading vlogs, and like literally you and your dad are like father-daughter goals. Like, I love it so much. Like, I used to read books with my dad a lot, but now my dad needs like really big font to read. And I'm like, I'll just
try to Kindle?
Yeah, but he like his hands shake a lot because he's pregnant. Literally, it's like hard. So we're trying to do the audiobook thing. So I'm getting him headphones for Christmas. He's not going to be watching this. because he does not so I can say that. So I'm getting him headphones so he can listen to books and then I can read them and then we can discuss them.
My dad's currently out in the living room because I'm home for the weekend or for the week for Thanksgiving. My dad's out in the living room watching this live show on our TV. So
that's so meta.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm disturbed right now. But I think I love sharing my love with people, but also I love keeping it to myself. I think it's mostly that I want to keep it to myself so that it doesn't get adapted.
Yeah.
I've been burned so many times, but I want more people to read it. I just don't want like the corporations to learn about it, you know?
See, I don't mind adaptations. I don't like
even bad adaptations?
Well, because I view it as an entirely different thing.
True.
So, like, it's not the same, because if you were to word for word adapt a book into a movie or a TV show or whatever, it's not going to do well because it's a different medium.
This is true.
So, I don't know, I'm kind of neutral towards it. And obviously, if you get a bad adaptation, like, that's not the best, but it doesn't really bug me that much. I don't know. But fantasy ones are definitely hard.
Guys, somebody just said that they want, like, that somebody used to write a fan fiction about me with a clown, and I just want to say that, yes, if you write it, send it to me, and I'll read it for a video. Sorry, I just had to add that in the comments. And, like, these comments are literally making my life. Somebody else said, like, talk faster than James Charles, and I'm like, yeah, he's got nothing on me.
No, but someone just said, Zoe, your dad now knows about Sasha's ghost fetish.
Oh, that's great. Hi, Zoe's dad. I've been friends with your daughter for many years. You have to be friend of me. Befriended me.
Let's move on to another question. Yeah. I like this one by William Holden. Favorite non-Harry Potter series? Fantasy series? I feel like
I'm still trying to read Harry Potter. I'm almost done. I have 2 more books.
Which one are you on?
I'm on the second to last one, I think Half-Blood Prince.
Yeah.
I still don't know what a Horcrux is. So
you'll never know.
I'm not like well, I literally have been like trying to avoid any spoilers. So whenever I see that come up, I'm like, no, and I like throw my computer against the wall.
That's the hardest game to play, trying to avoid Harry Potter spoilers.
Yeah.
That's impossible.
I've been living under a rock for the past like 2 years.
Oh my gosh. Highly commendable.
I really enjoy the Books of Bayern series by Shannon Hale.
What are those about?
The first one, well, all of them are based on Grimm's fairy tales. So the fairy tale of the Goose Girl, she writes like in a bunch of different age groups. She has something an adult. She has like a series that does really well in 6 to 8 as well. But it's kind of like a medieval fantasy, and it's about this girl who can like talk to animals and stuff. It's really good. It's like all of the books in the series are told from a different perspective, so you get different characters and different. Like they have
kind of like the Lunar Chronicles-ish.
Yeah, it's that idea because they all end up connecting in the end.
Are we talking about like our favorite non-Harry Potter
fantasy series? Yes.
Okay, so like I have 2. Like, well, the thing is, like, one of them's fresh in my brain because, like, as you guys, like, as some of you guys know, probably, like, I've been going through like the worst reading stuff of my life. Honestly, I think like it's just like I need to just like read bajillion books at once and then just get out of it. So like my OG, like one of my favorite fantasies, and it's a fantasy because it has like time travel, but also like I think it's like it's just so much fun. Is Ruby Red by Kirsten Greer. This is actually originally published in German and then translated into English. I think the translator did an amazing job, so props to him or her. And so I'm really all about this. And then a more recent one, okay, like literally, like I have not been reading that much fantasy, so like the most recent one, which I've been really enjoying, is The Novice. So I definitely recommend this for people who are just getting into fantasy. So if you guys like want just like a good like introduction into fantasy, I recommend that book. I also just always recommend Outlander, even though it's not fantasy. Oh my god, I'm so bad at this.
It has fantastical elements.
Okay,
yeah, I think
guys. I mean, I haven't finished it, but it's really good so far.
I'm trying to get more into fantasy. I feel like definitely during college, I have been really into contemporary because it's such a great way for me to get out of my head. And like, it's so easy to fly through when I'm so tired, like at the end of the day and all of that. And like, especially when I'm having to read, because I'm double majoring in English literature and advertising. So I have to read a lot of books. So I prefer to read something like light and fluffy. But now that I'm almost done with university, getting more into fantasy. So I'm really loving all these recommendations. But I think right now, obviously, the Raven Boys, it like kind of counts because it's.
I think it's fantasy. It's like paranormal. Yeah.
And also, I just read the first book of the Diviners. Really liked that. And yeah, there's a bunch on my shelf that I have not read yet. So
mood of my life.
Honestly, I feel that.
Did they make a Ruby Red movie?
Oh my god, yeah. They made like 3 of the movies. They're in German.
Oh.
I watched the dub versions. They're amazing. I am trash to them, and I will always love them. I'm kind of bummed that so the first movie's actually dubbed quite well, and I say that very tentatively, but like it's still like it's a decent dub. Second one, I don't believe it's dubbed, so you have to read subtitles, and then the third one's same-ish. But like they're like solid. The characters look like the characters are gorgeous. They're just like they adapt it really well. I think it's because like I don't know, German studios, movie studios are actually very great. Like they're really good at adapting things. They have like really big budgets. People just don't know about them in the US because they're not in English. So, you know, that's the only thing. But it's really good. So if you guys want to check it out, I highly recommend the movie first to go watch it.
First, before you read it?
I mean, first, like, no, I meant the other way around.
Oh, okay.
Sasha's pretty tired today.
Okay. You've been all Fiona and all that. Amy Talks asked, is there a fantasy book that has an amazing magic system that you have to read? I really love elemental magic. Love it. That's part of why I loved the Vampire Academy series, because elemental magic. I mean, also vampires, but mostly elemental magic. And Adrian. Oh, throwback to
Wait, what was the question again? What's our favorite?
A book that has a great magic system. So I also need to read. That's why I need to read Children of Blood and Bone, because
it has
the different
good
and it all reminds me of Avatar. So
it definitely does. I've only seen a couple of episodes of Avatar, and I'm like, I definitely does.
I think Truth Witch also has elemental. Different types of magic.
I think that I would have to go with Cassandra Clare books because they're so unique and there's so many different magic systems within it. Like there's the runes and then there's the magic, then there's the wait, is that all? The runes, the wizarding magic, and then like
the warlocks and then the runes. That's why I was thinking of the different magic systems. I didn't really remember.
There's 2 of them, I guess. Main ones, I don't know. I just really love it. I love how intricate they are and how different they are. And I just like the use of runes to give you, like, to enable powers that are kind of dormant within you. I think that's so cool.
I really love the magic system of the Grisha universe. I just love Leigh Bardugo as a whole. She is my favorite. But I think that the Grisha universe, the magic in there is really cool. I also heard about one recently that I haven't actually read yet, but the magic intrigues me. And it's also a show, The Magicians. I think the author is Lev Grossman. I could be wrong about that, but it's an adult fantasy series, and the magic has to do with like hands. They like make shapes or something with their hands. Yeah, and like the villain has like an extra finger, so then he can make different shapes and stuff. Like, I just thought that was wild. Yeah, so I definitely want to read that one. I could have explained that entirely incorrectly, but it sounded very interesting to me.
I mean, it intrigued me.
Yeah, perfect. Let me see. If you guys have any questions, you can also ask them on Twitter with the hashtag bookmarked. Do you see any questions, Zoe? I'm struggling. Oh, Siri thought I was talking to her.
My Wi-Fi has been freaking out for a little bit.
I was talking to you.
To me?
Yeah, can you not hear me?
It's okay. I felt it in my heart. It worked out. There was someone who commented, Gabriella Rinsick on Twitter asked, if you could make your own rune in the Shadowhunters world, what rune would you make? And so I thought that fit so well with what we were just talking about.
Oh my god, can I tell, like, do you know what I would make, actually? Like, just because
birth control rune, but no, they already have that.
They already have that. So, like, I actually would love to have a rune that will help up the levels that I'm lacking in my brain that cause my ADD, and my like severe ADD, because like I have to take medication every day in order to function like a normal human. And so whenever I don't have that medication, I'm pretty much just like a zombie throughout the day. And so like when I and that's always been the case since I was younger. So once I was on my medication, like I literally was like, I felt like a new person. I felt like I wasn't stupid anymore. I could concentrate. And so like the only thing is like you have to go to the pharmacy and then the doctor to get those medications. So having a rune just to draw on that won't cost you an arm and a leg, and you don't have to get out of your house, and you could just draw it on, would be so helpful. So an ADD like rune would be great to help.
Or just like a brain chemical balance rune, because that would also help with like people with depression.
Actually, that would be amazing. I hope that Cassandra takes all this into consideration for our next book.
Just I'm trying to think of the ones I already have. I feel like that's a really good one, because I'd be like, I would never want to sleep again. I'd basically want to be a vampire from Twilight. Never sleep again. But I feel like there's a sleep replacement rune. Yeah. I mean, we got the birth control. What else do we? No, just kidding. I don't know why that was the funniest thing when I read that in one of the books. It was just like, oh, Clary just like came up with that on the fly. Okay. Alrighty, girlfriend.
I know that was like such like an easy thing, just like, yeah, this will explain everything. Also, Jace has like a condom in his pocket, just like casually.
Gotta be ready. Gotta be
ready always. You know, it's like
no.
think that like literally they've known each other for years, but they've actually like only known each other, like Clary and Jace, for a couple months, I feel like, at the end of the series, because it actually is not that long of a time period, at least as long as we think it is.
Is my sister here? People are talking about my sister. Can my family please leave?
Everyone's here. Hello, Zoe's family.
No, it's fine. I love you guys.
There's someone asking on Twitter, kcool6419 is asking what fantasy books we recommend to someone who is just starting out with YA. I did a whole video on this recently, actually, but one that I really recommend is The Trader's Game by Jennifer A. Nielsen. She writes usually in middle grade, but she has like a really cool fantasy, but it's definitely a good introduction, but it's still like a really solid world, but it's an easy one to start out with.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I kind of need this too. I'm kind of.
I guess, yeah, you don't know. I was waiting for you.
But like the Raven Boys or the Diviners. Something that's, I think, paranormal, personally, is the best place to start, because then you can ease into like high fantasy, because I'm still trying to reach the high fantasy point. You could just dive in if you really feel brave.
That's true.
Some people like I know like literally started reading like George R. R. Martin when they were like 12, and I'm like, how the frick did you do that?
Hardcore.
But like the thing is, like I think that I'm trying to remember her name, but it's like something like why am I forgetting her name? Would have been really helpful if I did not forget her name, but pretty much I'm just gonna say Kiss of Deception is a really good book to kind of
Mary E. Pearson.
Yeah, but that's not the author I'm trying to think about. There's another author, so that's like replacement book, but it's like something Queen. But then there's so many books with Queen of the Twelve, so I mean like that isn't about it all. So like if somebody says in the comments, I'll find it and I'll let you guys know.
Do you know what the cover looks like?
Yes, it has like it's like kind of like blue, and it's blue, dark blue with light blue and like dark purple, with a girl on the cover with like a hooded, like with a cloak. Oh,
is it The Queen's Rising?
No, it isn't. It's like older than that. But there's another book.
It's an older
one. It's by Morgan Rhodes, and it's the Fallen Kingdom series.
Oh.
Yeah.
So good. And if you guys want a good introductory read into fantasy, and also something that just advances as you go through the books, I highly recommend it.
She's Canadian too.
Really?
Mm-hmm. She's from Toronto.
Ooh.
So support your Canadian authors, folks, even though none of you are Canadian.
I'm Canadian in my heart. That's how we're connected. That's how I could hear you. The internet. Shreya on Twitter asked, which element of fantasy books makes you want to read it more? The world, the magic system, the people of the world, etc.
I think the world. If it's
Really?
a well-built
Okay.
world, then that will make me want, like, because to me, the world and the magic system are synonymous. So I don't know if I said that word. It's like I can't really say anonymous. I did just say it, but I struggle with that word. So we'll just
They're
pretend that I said
together.
it
They're
correctly.
married.
Yeah, yeah. So if it has a good world and it has a good magic system, then I'll be inclined to pick it up, and then I'll kind of look at the story. Because with fantasy, I'm looking to escape to an entirely new world. So that's an important element for me.
I have to agree with you on that. I mean, like, you know, if the world's really solid, the thing is, like, a lot of books for me are character driven because, like, if the characters are solid, then the world's solid. But, like, honestly, for fantasy, it's a little bit different because, like, I mean, like, as I need, it depends also what point of view it's in a sense.
Yeah.
And points of views there are. So, like, if there's, like, a few characters that are kind of lacking, but there's some characters that are really solid and the world's solid, then I could still keep going. But I kind of feel like it's hand in hand. But for fantasy, the world is definitely super important. And it's really important for the author to make sure the world is understandable and the world is unique in its own way, but also understandable for us, you know, lowly humans who live in the regular world. So, I mean, like, there's lots of ways, like, that you can go about it, but I do agree with you.
I agree too. I think mostly because I read so much urban fantasy, I don't read a lot of high fantasy. So for me, it's more the magic system because it's our world, duh. But I wonder, how do you make a magic system that's unique? How did it? You did it.
hard.
How did you do it?
It's hard. You try
I feel
and
like
not
if I
think
ever
about what
wrote a
other people have
fantasy,
done.
it would be the same as like any other fantasy that I've read.
Yeah.
Nothing's original anymore. That's something that I've heard a lot of the time at conferences. Many authors say it. No idea is original. It's just about how you take your own.
It's a combination of different aspects.
Yeah, you can try it once, but at the end of the day, you cannot appease everybody. And, like, there's always going to be one person who's going to be like, oh, this is a copy of that. Like, for example, nobody can have a strong female character in their books, like, and it's a fantasy or a fantasy. Like, for example, people, my main character in my book, Andy, she is a strong female character, and she just so happens to have white hair. People instantly compared her to Selena Sardathian, and I'm like, okay, that's an amazing comparison, first of all, so I'm very honored. But, like, second of all, like, you know, comparisons are not bad. Like, having things that are similar are not bad. It just shows that, like, you know, if you like this book, you like this book. There's, like, carbon copies which are different, but, like, you know, nothing's original anymore, even with magic systems, but, like, it's about your own twist on it and how you write it into your story. But, you know, it's a toss-up. It's a really big toss-up.
Yeah. Like, I'm sure that the magic system that I wrote has been done before. I haven't read anything with it, but I'm sure that there's something like it.
Like, who knows? Maybe there's a book that nobody's read before that has, like, the same thing, but it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you wrote your book. You did not plagiarize it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Plagiarizing is a whole different, like, you know, topic, and, like, you know, people have similarities.
Read with Cindy just commented, make a magic system unique by basing it on more non-European culture, which I would love to read. Are there a lot of fantasy books or just fantasy anything that's based on
her Wi-Fi is cutting out.
Recommendations that you've read? Hello, am I back? Hello?
Your Wi-Fi is struggling.
Wait,
I know. Okay.
Repeat what you just said.
Sorry, are there any recommendations of books that are more non-European based fantasy?
Yes, Julie Dow's books are amazing, and it's a Forest of a Thousand Lanterns, right?
That's
Yeah,
That's the one I'm reading right now. Yeah.
Literally amazing Snow White retellings with was it East Asian mythology or just it's something it's based off of Asian mythology, and I think that is so cool. Julie Dao is also just a wonderful person, and I feel like there's so many different I feel like more people just need to get out there, read more diverse books, and see how epic the stories can become. Because yes, so many of them are rooted in European cultures, and we've seen that before. So if you want to have something different, broaden your reading tastes, and you'll see that there's so many worlds beyond just the one that you've been focused on.
Yeah. It looks like there's quite a few that are coming out in 2019 from what I've seen too, which is awesome. Yeah.
I'm looking at the chat trying to see if An Ember in the Ashes. Yes.
Oh,
right?
true. Yeah.
It's on my shelf. I haven't read it yet, but that's definitely when I'm getting more into
Girls of
fantasy.
Paper and Fire that just came out. That one's definitely I think it's based in India.
And Children of Blood and Bone.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah, Children of Blood and Bone for sure. Yeah.
It's based on West African mythology, right?
Yep. And then there's this book that's coming out. I apologize, I forgot the author's name, but it's pretty much Anastasia. But like I'm pretty sure it's Anastasia, but Asian inspired. And I want to say that, but I may be wrong. But I know it's Anastasia, and like the author, I forget her name. Oh my gosh, I feel so bad. But it's coming out. I'll tweet about it later today. But you know, there's lots of debut books. These publishers are finally noticing that like this needs to be. I feel like publishers, they still have a long way to go.
Yeah, especially the people who work in publishing.
Yeah.
We just need to diversify everything, and like it needs to be diverse, just like the world we live in. That's my
equal opportunities or it just needs people all. We need to work on this.
Yeah. I think Sophie had a question, but I was trying to find it. I forget what it was though, but I saw it on Twitter. Oh, there it is. What is a popular fantasy that you didn't like?
Sarah J. Maas.
Wait, everybody liked it.
I loved the first 3 books, or no, the first 2 books of Throne of Glass, and then I didn't. But I liked it when I read the first.
I still enjoy those. There's definitely major issues with them.
Oh yeah, I'm not hating on anybody who reads it. It's just personally.
Oh no, yeah.
The writing style, I could not
think of ones that I like how I'm literally the one who picked this question and I can't even think of my own answer.
Honestly, I feel like there's nothing wrong with like there's some books that like everybody loves and you don't, and like I feel like there's such an issue with reader shaming out there, especially in BookTube, or like if you don't like, then like everything is to crap about it. Like even like right now, like I have a book in my head, but I don't want to say it because I don't want to offend the author as well. And it's a very popular book from last year, and I just kind of get through it, but it's not because I dislike the author's writing. I think the author is a phenomenal author, and I love her other books. It's just like this book did not resonate with me. I'm not gonna say what it is because I just don't want to like put that.
I don't think anyone's going to think that you're hating on the person themselves.
I know, but I just hate like it's like such a popular book, and like that's why like literally I feel like I would be attacked like mauled, and I'm like not in the mood for being mauled today. But I bet people can assume what it is. It was it came out last year. But see, like that's why I'm like I don't want to get like. I know there's like like people will probably blast me for not saying it too, but you know I'll tell you.
Win either way.
And same with Percy Jackson. Like I really want to like Rick Riordan. I feel like he's such a good person, and like I really want to support him, but I just can't get into. I've tried so many times, and like I like the idea, but I can't. I feel like I read them too late. Because I read the first book, I read The Lightning Thief when I was in 5th grade, and I loved it. But then I read the other books when I was like graduating high school. So kind of a jump in time. But again,
I'm the same. I like Rick Riordan, but I don't love it as much as everyone else seems to. I don't really like Red Queen as much as everyone else seems to, and honestly, City of Bones.
No, I was gonna say. Actually, I'm jumping in and saying. So I'm reading Lord of Shadows right now, and I've been reading that book for months, and I know that everybody loves that book, and they've been getting through it like super fast. Like people read it in like 0.5 seconds, and I'm like, you're insane. But like I stopped in the middle of it, and then I tried to pick it up after that, but I just like the books don't clutch me as they used to. But that's not a bad thing. I still will read it. It, but I just won't like literally devour it all in one fell swoop like I used to. And I feel like that if like people will be like, but why? It's Santa Clara, you love Santa Clara. I'm like, yes I do, but like just because like I'm not like devouring this does not mean I like her any less. Like it just means that like I'm reading a little bit slower, like also it's been like a while since I read the last book. It's just different scenarios and situations lead to like your taste changing or your speed for a book. It's everything's fine with that.
Yeah, I feel like with Cassandra Clare too, I think her writing has improved so much, and like I'm impressed that she finds so many different ways to continue the story. But again, so many books have come out, and I've read all of them, but I keep on forgetting what happened in the past because there's so many books in this series. But I will keep reading her because I enjoy it and I enjoy the world, but I'm not like dying for the next book to come out because I keep forgetting what's happened in the past.
I love all the stuff in math.
We're getting Oh, I can't say it. That's spoilers. Never mind. But we're getting a series in the world that is following the children of 2 characters, and then the 2 characters will be in the book, and I'm excited because I like those 2 characters.
So pumped. Woo!
Yeah. But I feel like that because it's earlier, you won't need to know everything that happened. You know what I'm talking about, right, Sasha?
Yeah, we're talking about Mortal Instruments, right? Santa Clara books?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, with the 2 characters that have their spin-off.
Yeah.
And the characters that are so beloved and that I freaking like will like literally die for. Yeah, I love them so freaking much. I'm so excited. I will actually devour that series. I just think I honestly just don't care much about Emma Carstairs. Like Julie Black.
I don't care about Julian.
Like I just
he can leave.
Like May. Like I just don't care about them as much as I care about like Clary and Jace, because Clary and Jace, like literally that book series was there for me in like the hardest time of my life, and I feel like that also leads you to liking books a little bit more.
That is same with me. That's with Twilight, and that's with the Mortal Instruments. They're there for like a very.
Oh, she's cutting out again.
Did my Wi-Fi go again?
Yeah.
Hello. I'm getting so mad.
I thought it would be though.
Oh god.
But I only care about Ty in that series. Sorry, I'm bringing it back. I care about Ty.
It's fine.
I care about Christina.
I know about Ty.
I care about Mark, and that's it. Okay, moving. Finally, something fantasy I can talk about. So that's why I was excited.
I know, right?
Chelsea D03 on Twitter asks if we ever get into a slump on a single genre, and like you can't just get into fantasy, but you can get into contemporary. Wow, that sentence got away from me. I've definitely gotten into slumps with fantasy, especially when I was writing fantasy. It was so hard for me to actually read fantasy. So I think that's totally normal, because a contemporary is very different than a fantasy. Like, sure, there are some fantasies that are easier to read, but you're discovering this whole new world. So it always takes me a lot longer to read a fantasy book than it does to read a contemporary. So it's kind of normal for me to kind of get burnt out from them sometimes.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Like, I know just by the aspect of a reader, and then as like the perspective of an author, like, for like Zenith, like I had to build upon a whole entire galaxy and a world. So whenever I was writing that, I could not read any like science fiction or fantasy books, because also, first of all, I don't like to read the same genre of the book that I'm writing currently, because I don't want to have any outside influences. So I just steer clear of that. But and then what I learned actually was that reading and writing contemporary for me, it's just way easier in general, just because like you're basing it, like it's also more character based. It's her perspectives, because like the world is the world that we live in. So you have to really delve into the characters, and you're kind of like building a world within the characters in that perspective. So like I forget like where this is going, but like pretty much, yes, I tend to go and like migrate towards contemporary, especially when I'm writing a fantasy book or a science fiction book, because I don't want any outside influences. And it's just an easy world to get into because it's familiar. And I am trash for a good smutty book, I have to say. And that's what I read most of the time.
With your ghosts and clowns.
Like literally, I would read that. I would write that. Like, I like literally like have read
Kindle Unlimited.
Guys, you like would like I will tell you about it later, because like I cannot say it on live. Like it's so bad.
Do I want to hear it?
I do.
Yeah, Hailey's gonna freaking crack up. Like Zoe's gonna go walk out of the room and be like, Sasha,
so excited.
I'm literally hyping so much stuff up for that. Like everybody will not know what it is except me.
I'm so excited. Oh my god.
I feel like that's very interesting, though. Like, it makes sense not wanting to have.
We're losing her again.
Oh, I'm still here. Am I still here?
Yeah, wait.
Am I here? Okay. But I think it's very interesting that like it makes sense not wanting to have your writing be too influenced by another book, but then also having that, like having new content to like freshen your like excitement about the genre, or just like make you think of the genre in different ways. So I think that's very interesting.
Yeah, and like that's why like whenever I'm finished with a draft of a book like that I'm writing, like for Project Red, for example, like I'm steering clear of like urban fantasy. But I read like high fantasy, and then I read like other contemporaries because it's kind of like mixed between those two genres, but they're not its own genre. So it's like when I take breaks, I tend to go back and read books of that genre because I know that I'm not actively writing it. So it's like you're still reading the books that like you want to read and that are of the genre that you're writing, but like not in present time. Because when you like I bet you guys relate to this in any aspect of the way when you're listening to music and you're listening to like lyrics, like people are singing to you, and you're typing either paper or a book or something, you tend to write the words listening.
That's why I cannot listen to I listen to film scores when I write. I can't have words.
I will accidentally put a sentence into a book from like one of my books, like a book that I was reading, and I'm like, oh my god, no, I can't. I luckily catch myself. It's only happened a few times, but I'm so scared that's gonna happen and I'm not gonna catch it, and then I'm gonna be blasted for it. So that's why I'm like, I'm just gonna avoid any of that and then just like chill.
When you said when I caught myself, I had to stop myself. Like, remember Decode from Twilight? Sorry, you just said something that made me think of that song. When
I'm so sorry that I didn't know
I
you
had
were
to
talking.
stop myself saying something that I should have never thought of you. Pushing and pulling me down. Too. Okay. I have another question from Tina Go 910, who asks if you could switch places with a fantasy character, who would it be? I want to be Blue Sergeant.
You basically are.
Thank you. I mean, to be honest, don't love Blue Sergeant as a character that much, because I just feel like I'm very different from her. I mean, like, I don't mind her, but if I was her, I would make different decisions. I would like to be in her shoes.
I would be like Dumbledore because he like lived a solid life and like he was just like so wicked cool and like just a solid dude, good person. Or I would be like a villain, like a really bad villain. Like I want to be somebody that I'm totally not, just so I could like experience a life that is completely not mine, and I could just be like
Pennywise.
Ooh.
Oh my god, no, I would like actually be interested to see Pennywise be in Pennywise's place and like think the way he does. Like I would be so on board with that, putting my mind in his. Like sometimes I have dreams where I'm like a different person completely, and then like I walk in their shoes and it can be like totally weird. Like it's so interesting. I have a really weird mind.
This is wild.
Really?
I'm fascinated.
Hailey, if you ever talk to you about all the weird things I know, like I know so many weird things, guys, about our world and about like weird niches in it. Like, oh my god, don't even get me started. And like,
were you abducted by aliens or something?
No, I was abducted by the weird
You sound like one of those people.
I like literally just know lots of weird stuff that I would never share.
You sound like a conspiracy theorist.
I should be like not even a conspiracy theorist. I should just be like, hey, want to know weird crap about like everything because I know everything that you don't care to know about.
Sasha knows everything.
I know everything that you guys don't care to know about. That's the difference. I know everything, but I know everything that people don't want to know. And then I'll let them know, and then they're like, I don't really need to know that. And I'll be like, that's fine. Because
That's true. You said something to me at BookCon that was so random. You were like, have you ever seen blah, blah, blah?
Yeah,
and I'm not going to say, you know what I'm talking about?
That's my number one party trick. I show people that. And guess what? I'm going to get an actual one so I can like bring it around with me and be like, ooh. So I'm going to show you this thing later. It's disturbing.
I hope
What
you
is
do.
happening?
Who
would you be?
Hailey and I know something that you don't yet, but you will know.
You're gonna know. Oh my god. I feel like I would want to be Luna Lovegood, just because I love her. She's she's great. So I would beat her.
Yeah.
Oh god, somebody said I should make a podcast and talk about all these weird things, and I'm like, honestly, I would do that.
Would listen. Would
Like,
100% listen.
I would get blasted so hard, and I'll be like, yes.
Oh my god.
Stranger Reed says, I want to be a background Slytherin, just going to Hogwarts, living a drama-free life in this magical world. Have you, there's like a comic that's called like Background Slytherin or Background Gryffindor, Background.
Oh, she's leaving
Oh,
again.
hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hello.
I think you're almost back.
Hi.
Okay, now you're back.
Have you read that comic?
I've never heard of it.
Oh, I saw it on Facebook when I went on Facebook many moons ago. but I okay. We probably should take one last question
Oh yeah.
because we've been talking for a while about not the topic.
I mean, it's fine.
I feel like this has been like more of like an in-depth research of Sasha's psyche.
Which is like
Fascinating.
It's like horrifying and amazing.
Have you done the Enneagram, Sasha?
The Enneagram?
It's a personality
Enneagram test.
Wait, oh, isn't that like INFJ or like?
No, that's Myers-Briggs.
Wait, what's this? What's this other one?
It gives you
9 different types.
Yeah.
Wait.
If you want to know everything about me, I'm a type 6.
Wait, really?
Wait, want to know everything about me? I'm a type 4.
Enneagram?
Yeah.
Enneagram.
It's a really long thing, so we'll have to talk about it after.
Yeah,
but I do really want to know your type. I'm not gonna lie.
You're like, oh my gosh, you're gonna find out. They're gonna be like, so we're not friends anymore. I have a question. Unless like there's a question that's waiting for us that's interesting.
Oh, yeah, you can go ahead.
Okay, if you take one character out of a fantasy world and put it into our world, who do you think would adapt the worst to our world? Because they won't have powers, they won't have anything. They'll just be themselves. So kind of like if you guys read Trials of Paul by Rick Riordan, it's gonna be kind of like you were a god once. Human. You're mortal. You have nothing special about you. You're not a special snowflake anymore. You don't have cool like powers, nothing. So who do you think would adapt worst to our world?
I feel like Selena Sardossian.
I was gonna say her, like you cannot kill anybody. You cannot use your like, weapons or anything else that you may have. No spoilers. Like she would literally be so bad in this world, and literally she would just be so hated because like
she would struggle. You
have to like be able to like be nice to people, and I feel like she couldn't. At least her beginning character in the first few books.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think that's my answer. Zoe, do you have an answer?
I was thinking people from Lord of the Rings. I feel like that'd be so funny. Legolas, Orlando Bloom.
I would love to see I would love to see like the elves going through a revolving door and not knowing what the heck it is. Like that's something that
I was just trying to shoot it with their arrows.
Like literally be like, what the frick is this? And it's gonna be like, oh, it's a revolving door, and they'd be like, what magic is this? And it's not magic.
Like, it would be like that movie Enchanted with what's his face?
Yes, it was.
Marsden, what's his name? Yeah. And he was and then he had like the sword and he was trying to fight like the semi or whatever.
Yeah.
That would be
yes.
We're losing her. Struggles, Zoe.
Like everyone's thrive gardening, yes. Voldemort, yeah, definitely.
There's so many. None of them would make it.
No. I mean, Sam would. Samwise Gamgee, my boy. My little man. James Marsden, yes, thank you. Aren't they making a sequel to Enchanted?
I don't know, but that would be amazing.
Oh my god, they put it on messed up. Like, I love Enchanted.
They probably would.
Oh yeah, Once Upon a Time, definitely. Squishy Reed says, Hailey saying we're losing her gives me anxiety. Is that what you keep saying when I'm
I'm like, oh, she's going. Oh my god.
I mean, true in more ways than one. Okay, I think that's the end of our questions. Let's talk about our booktuber of the week. It is Chandler Ainsley from the channel Chandler Ainsley, who does amazing recaps of good. Am I cutting out? Hello.
You were.
I'm back.
You were.
I'm back. Amazing recaps of Twilight. And like we talked about earlier, I was Twilight trash. I was a Twihard back in middle school. And so I haven't read it in years. So hearing somebody who also was Twilight trash back in the day, rereading it with a new perspective, but also still the emotional ties of loving it back in the day. It's so much fun. We're going to leave her link down below. I just overall a great human in my opinion. So, my sweater was from Primark in the UK. If you're wondering,
I love
it's
Primark.
Very warm.
Primark is amazing.
I have a Primark 10 minutes for me. I'm so happy.
I'm very
so jealous.
lucky.
I have 2. But it's okay.
Okay.
Now
one Wow, you're flexing on us so much
Yeah.
in this.
Zoe, come and
You're like, oh, I know everything,
You're
and
supposed to
I
come
have
and
2
visit me, okay?
Primarks.
So come up. You go to Primark. You can live there if you want. 24-hour.
No, I'll come up. I'll take your dog, and I'll come back.
You're saying like that's a bad thing. Like, please, both of you.
Oh my
Sounds
gosh. Well, next
amazing.
week we're going to be on my channel. We're going to be talking all about book consumerism with Read with Cindy, who I love. I love Cindy so much. And I'm really excited because it's a topic that I wanted to talk about for so long. And I feel like Cindy's going to bring such great discussion to our discussion. And I'm excited to hear what all of you have to say about the topic. So if you have some questions, you can already tweet them at us with hashtag bookmarked. I'm ready. I'm so excited. Okay.
Amazing.
Should we end?
Yes. All right. Yours was kind of lagging. Yeah, thank you so much to
I'm always
Sasha for
lagging.
joining us last minute. It was
Last
very
minute.
appreciated.
I'm
Hannah
always
should be
free.
back
I have no life.
Excellent. Same. What a mood. All right. So thank you very much to everyone for watching this week's chapter, and we will see you next week. Bye.
Bye.